All right, let's just jump right in. We are in the middle of a full-blown biotech renaissance. Seriously, there's a whole new generation of companies out there building technologies that, even 10 years ago would have felt like total science fiction. So today we're going to break down how this is all happening, who's behind it, and what it really means for the future of medicine.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. This isn't about making the drugs we already have a little bit better. Nope. We are talking about a complete paradigm shift, a totally different way of thinking about health and disease. It's a revolution, plain and simple.
Okay, so if you really want to understand where all this is headed, you got to do one thing: follow the money. The whole investment game in biotech has a new set of rules now, and those rules tell us exactly where the biggest breakthroughs are about to happen.
And what's so wild is who's making the biggest bets. It's not the traditional venture capitalists you might think of. The main funders are now the corporate venture arms of Big Pharma. They see this wave of innovation coming, and they know it's absolutely essential for their own future, so they're pouring money in to get a front row seat.
And they're not just investing, oh no, they are buying. The big pharmaceutical giants are just aggressively snapping up these innovative little startups to fill their own drug pipelines. This creates these massive potential paydays for the companies that get their science right, which makes the whole ecosystem just incredibly dynamic. I mean, look at this. It's a perfect example. Xaira Therapeutics. They developed a brand new type of drug for schizophrenia, and after their late-stage trials came back looking great, Bristol Myers Squibb just swooped in and bought them for a staggering $14 billion. It's a perfect illustration of the kind of reward that's out there for true innovation. But, and this is a big but, for every huge success story like Xaira, there are failures. This is a really high-stakes game. Take Spotlight Therapeutics. They were working on this incredibly difficult technology, trying to edit genes directly inside the human body, and they just couldn't overcome the challenges. They had to shut down. It's a tough reminder that, in this field, only the absolute strongest science makes.
So what is this strongest science that's getting all the money and creating these huge wins? Well, the first pillar of this whole revolution is artificial intelligence. And we're not just talking about AI as some, helpful little tool. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we discover and design new medicines from square one.
To really get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number. Recursion Pharmaceuticals runs over 2 million automated lab experiments every single week. That generates a completely insane amount of data, way more than any group of human scientists could ever hope to analyze. And that data? That's the fuel for their AI discovery engine.
And what they do with all that data is just incredible. Recursion has basically built an AI co-scientist. The researchers can literally just use plain English to ask the system to find new drug targets or even design new potential drugs. It's a real partnership between human brains and machine intelligence, and it's happening at like lightning speed.
And the belief in this AI-driven approach is just off the charts. A new company, Xaira Therapeutics, launched with $1 billion in initial funding. I mean, that is a completely unprecedented war chest for a startup. It just shows you how massive the bet on AI-powered drug discovery has become. They are a major player to watch, for sure.
All right, so that's AI. Now let's shift gears to the second major revolution that's powering this whole thing: gene editing. You've probably heard of CRISPR. That first generation of technology proved we could edit our DNA to fight disease. But this next wave, it's all about making that power way more precise and, frankly, a whole lot safer. The key technology everyone's talking about is called base editing. So unlike traditional CRISPR, which actually cuts the DNA, base editing works by chemically rewriting a single genetic letter. It's a much more elegant and controlled way to fix the root cause of so many genetic diseases. Honestly, the best way to think about it is this scissors versus pencil analogy. Traditional CRISPR is like a pair of molecular scissors. It cuts both strands of DNA to make a change, which can sometimes cause, unwanted mistakes. Base editing, on the other hand, is like a molecular pencil. It can just erase one letter and write in the correct one, all without making that risky cut. So the big deal here is that this pencil approach, which companies like Beam Therapeutics are pioneering, has some massive advantages. It's way more precise, it has fewer side effects, and it's potentially much safer. And get this, it could open the door to fixing something like 60% of all known disease-causing genetic mutations. That is huge.
And this is not just a cool idea in a lab somewhere. Beam's main drug candidate for sickle cell disease is already in human trials, and it's showing really strong, lasting positive results. Patients are seeing their disease markers improve in a big way. This is next-gen science delivering real hope right now. So,
When you put all these pieces together, you've got the AI revolution, you've got this gene editing revolution. What does it all mean for us? What does this new future of medicine actually look like?
The key takeaways are pretty clear. AI isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's a core, essential part of discovering new medicines. At the very same time, our ability to edit genes is getting incredibly precise with technologies like base editing. And when you combine these two things, you start to make precision medicine, treating the actual root cause of a disease, a reality for more and more people.
And this all leads to one final kind of mind-bending thought. For decades, drug discovery has been this slow, expensive, and often super unpredictable process. But as AI and automation and precision biology all start to come together, we're entering an era where that could totally change. So the question we're all left with is this: what happens when designing a new cure becomes as fast as designing new software? The implications of that are, well, they're truly profound.